Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be giving you 5 tangible steps to being more feminine. This video is for the woman who has started the inner work with femininity and wants to actually have tangible tips on what to do on a daily basis to continue to practice being the feminine woman that you are and start to embody inner power that you already have naturally. Whoever comes to my page, I'm assuming that you're the person who wants to continuously elevate and learn more things about themselves. You're very open-minded, or you wouldn't be here. We're always working to be better here on my channel, so if you're here, you came to the right place. I started actually tapping into my femininity and thinking about what femininity meant to me at 26 years old. I'm now 28, so I've actively been thinking about it for 2 years. And honestly, I wish that someone taught me a little bit of what I'm learning now earlier. I wish that it was something that I could have been proud of earlier. Everything that I'm talking about today is my opinion from my perspective and my experience. So please, with everything, take what you want, leave what you don't, and hopefully this touches someone in the way that I'd want to see someone talking about femininity and giving me tangible tips. I feel like society is constantly trying to tell women that they are men and that we have to fight like men, we have to argue like men, we have to work like men, and we have to be like men, when that's honestly simply not the case. It couldn't be further from the case at all. Trying to be more like men actually pushes us further away from who we actually are and makes everything 10 times harder, because men and women operate on 2 completely different scales, physically, hormonally, socially. Everything that we experience is 2 completely different things. So we have been fed the lie that we are men and that we are on an equal playing field, when that's not the case at all. Men are really good at things, women are really good at things, and they're completely different things, and they work together so well. A lot of the masculine traits that we have been taught to try to embody honestly aren't working in our favor, and I'm having to unlearn some of those traits and tap into the power of femininity, because there's so much strength in being a feminine woman. I feel like a lot of people also are triggered by the concept of working on your femininity, and I think femininity is different for every person. So if you like these tips and they're how you want to practice femininity and they're new ideas for you, please enjoy. If you don't relate to this video at all, not a problem. It's just not for you. Tip number 1 that I learned, and it's such a work in progress, is being able to take feedback with grace. Taking feedback is something that when we're younger, when someone tells you that you're incorrect, if someone tells you that maybe you shouldn't do something that way, or hey, I didn't like the way that you did XYZ, it is so easy to get defensive, and that's because you have a big ego. Ego is that person inside that tells you, hey, that person shouldn't be talking to you this way, there's no way, I'm right, you're wrong. That's your ego that wants to protect your essence, your being. What being feminine is being able to drop your ego and really listen to people on an outside perspective. Have you ever seen someone be told the honest truth and the first thing that they do is get defensive? That is something that a feminine woman isn't practicing. She doesn't need to be defensive. She doesn't need to get irate if someone corrects her. Being able to take feedback with grace means that if someone corrects you, if someone says, hey, maybe you could improve on this, it's being open-minded enough to say, you know what? That's not offensive. I'm not going to take any offense to what you're saying, and listen intently. It's simply being able to control your emotions enough to not take offense when people give you tangible feedback. That comes with also the side of you don't necessarily have to change anything about yourself just because people are telling you, but it's not having that ego, it's not having that defense up, it's not having a comeback to say if someone critiques something that they don't like, or maybe that they see that you can improve. It is so feminine for someone to be like, hey, you know what, Deandra, I really didn't like that you did XYZ, and me to be like, okay. There's power in listening and dropping your ego, being able to listen, even if you don't feel like changing something or fixing something that someone else says. The feminine woman is able to receive feedback without getting defensive. It will change the way people look at you when you're able to stay relaxed, you're able to stay calm, and you're able to take feedback. Such a game changer. Tip number 2. I like to call it reading the room, but we can also simplify it to watch your volume. I feel like so much of being feminine is having proper etiquette. It is knowing when you're at a high-end restaurant or knowing when you're in a public place to watch your volume. Watch the way that you act. Be mindful of the way that you act in the space that you're in amongst other people. The feminine woman really is mindful of respect that we have for elders, the respect that we have for young children, the respect that we have for other people. Have you ever seen someone be irate and be loud and just not care about anyone else in their space? That is not the embodiment of a true feminine woman. You're able to have fun, but you're also so mindful of where you are so that you're still moving with grace. You're respectful of the people sitting next to you. You're respectful of the young children. You're respectful of just the people you're interacting with. Watching your volume and being mindful of reading the room also comes in when you get an argument with someone. When you get into an argument with someone, the loudest person does not make you the most correct person. Let me say this again, because so many people do not understand this. Just because you are loud, it does not mean that you are correct. I know it's hard to believe that to be true. Being feminine is really being able to communicate and get your point across without having to raise your volume to a place where you lose your mind. I feel like you cannot be taken seriously if you just get irate and you get loud without being able to articulate why something is bothering you, without being able to articulate why you believe something to be true. To tap into your femininity is to be able to harness your emotions, understand, read the room, and being able to communicate properly depending on the situation that you are in. So next time you're somewhere, just being mindful of the environment that you're in. Next time someone tries to argue with you, it is thinking twice before getting irate. It is really taking a moment, taking a step back to be able to think before you respond. Because keeping your cool is part of being the woman, because we are sound of mind. We are reasonable. We're not these beings that are uncontrolled. We too have self-control. We too have mastery of self. And the feminine woman really knows how to harness those emotions and communicate them beautifully. Tip number 3. This is something that I'm learning and I'm working on every single day, and I'm loving and having so much fun. It is dressing for your figure. Really wearing real clothes. Wearing real clothes means not going everywhere in the sweatpants, not going everywhere in the workout clothes, leaving the house and being mindful of what is on your body. There's something so feminine about putting yourself together even when it's going to the grocery store. I think being in Dubai has really opened my eyes even more than being in the US to presenting yourself in a way that reflects your inner work. I really think that you can tell what's going on with someone inside based on the way that they present themselves on the outside. Being here in Dubai, there is a culture of femininity. Women want to wear dresses. They have such good style here. Everyone is really put together. When I go to the mall, I don't see anybody in sweatsuits. They're all wearing real clothes. Same with when I was in Europe. Very much the mentality of you just never know where you're going to be. You never know who you're going to meet. You never know who you're going to come across. You never know what conversations that you have. Whether we believe it or not, or whether we like it or not, people will judge you based on the way that they perceive you. So if you're not put together, if you're not wearing clothes that are flattering to you, if you're dressed scantily or maybe dressed inappropriately for the environment that you are in, people will more than likely take that in and cast judgment on you, and that's just not fair. I'm telling you, there is just something so beautiful about a woman being able to, throw on a little bit of concealer, throw on a little bit of blush, maybe put on some jeans and a top before going to the grocery store. It is not a bad thing. That is not trying too hard. That is not pick me. That is being aware that you are the embodiment of all the inner work that you're doing, and you want people to be able to understand and perceive you that same way. It also boosts your confidence. I know that when I'm out and I see someone, or I'm out and I accidentally have a conversation with a stranger and I'm dressed in a sweatsuit with no makeup and a hat on, I am less likely to engage with that person. It is just simply the truth. I'm less likely to engage with that person. That the person might think like, hey, maybe she just rolled out of bed, maybe she's having a hard day, maybe she's having a hangover. For whatever reason, no, I wasn't. I just decided to leave the house not put together. Dressing more feminine, wearing dresses, being intentional with the way that you dress your body, making sure maybe you're not wearing too revealing clothes everywhere that you go. Just being mindful of the way that you present yourself is just so important to the feminine journey. And I also feel like, especially in the US, there's been this hypersexualization of the female body, that women need to wear skimpy clothes in order to be attractive, and women have to have a certain look in order to be deemed as sexy, and that's just simply not the case at all. You can be sexy and elegant. Actually, I think those are some of the most beautiful women who understand how to dress themselves correctly and properly and put together, and they're not showing every ounce of skin, but you can still tell that they are very sexy, and it's the way that they carry themselves, it's the way that they speak. It's so beautiful. Tip number 4, care about your body and your well-being. Care about your body and your well-being. This is so important because being feminine and caring about yourself and the inner work that you're doing, again, is going to be a representation of the outer work. If you love yourself, you will take care of yourself. To be feminine is to love yourself. You want to nourish your body. You want to eat healthy foods. You want to have energy. You want to wake up every day and feel like life is great. And that starts with eating the right things. You don't want to be that person who's consistently out drinking and eating soda and eating burgers and fries and all this processed food, because eventually that's going to catch up to you in the way that you feel, in the way that your skin looks, in the way that your energy levels are. You to love yourself is to take care of yourself, and it's really understanding that we have one vessel and one body, and this is the only body that we'll ever get. Really loving yourself is caring about wellness. It's caring about the way that you take care of yourself, from the food that you eat to the lotion that you put on your body to the rest that you get. Getting 8 hours of sleep every night is so important to the female body. In fact, we need more sleep than men. Femininity is such an essence. When I go out, I can tell a feminine woman. It's the way that she's dressed. It's the way that she takes care of herself. It's the way that she's intentional. It's the way that she speaks. And I'm saying wellness starts mindset, body, what you put in your food, what you put on your skin. It is self-care. Self-care is wellness. Last tip number 5 is going to be body language. This one is so important. It is something that you can actively work on every single day. As I said, I feel like femininity is having decorum. I feel like it's having good home training. Body language is something that you can read from a mile away if you know what to look for. So the first thing is sit up straight. There are people who sit like this, you know, you're eating, they're crouching. It doesn't display confidence. It doesn't display femininity. It displays maybe you're just uncomfortable. Maybe you might be feeling insecure. Maybe it's not something that you've never thought about. It's not good for your body. It's not good for your spine. And it's also not good for the way that other people view it. So sitting up straight, way that you walk, pick up your feet, don't drag your feet. You really want to display this confidence, and it really comes from your body language. It's also being open to having conversation. It's not having the RBF, the resting B face. It's not trying to act hard or, you know, give this bad bitch energy that really translates to don't speak to me, I'm better than you. You know, the feminine woman is kind, she's loving, she's open. She doesn't mind having conversations with people. She is humble, she's understanding, and body language can admit that. Things like even hand motions. If, you know, someone's always talking like this and doing all of this, you know, it's not giving us feminine, you know, it's giving a little bit aggressive. When we're always in each other's face talking like this, it's distracting as well. So just being more mindful of how you move when you're speaking to someone. It's not having to be in somebody's face. It's not having to move your hands and talk like this and snap in someone's face. It's really just being respectful. It's sitting up straight. It's the way that you walk. These things are actual tangible steps that you can take to feel more feminine, be perceived as more feminine, work on being more feminine. The outer work right now that I'm talking about, it's the things that people can see that I'm talking about, but it's a tangible step to help you in conjunction with the inner work that you're already doing if you're here on this page watching it. I hope that these 5 steps really helped you guys. I hope that you're able to take them and start implementing them into your daily lives. I know that it has changed so much about my aura. People have been like, wow, Deandra, like something is different about you. I don't know what it is. You just seem like brighter, you seem happier, you seem more elegant. And honestly, it's simply because I just started tapping into my femininity. I still have street style every once in a while. I still wear my sweatsuits every once in a while, but I'm very mindful of when I do things and when I don't do things. I'm mindful of the way that I interact with men and with women and the way that I talk now. I'm not so snappy. I'm not so in somebody's face. I'm not so aggressive because I don't need to be feminine. I can be myself, and it is more powerful to be this way. I hope that this video was helpful for you. I had so much fun making it. If you want more tips, I can continue to give them. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel, and feel free to let me know any future videos that you want in the comment section. I will see you guys in the next video. Mwah.